afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome back to the channel. My name is ASFM and welcome to Season 3, Episode 1 here, where we are going to be talking about the transfer special and also discussing what's happening this season and also playing our first game of the season against Minyor Pernik, who have recently just been promoted to this division. So first of all, we are going to be discussing the transfers, and there's been some big ones, there's been some small ones, and there has been some ones that I thought were going to be good, but turn out they're pretty shit. So if we start from, I believe Donev is the free transfer, but he's a youngster, so he comes in on a free. 15 years of age. I can't remember where I got him from. I think he was just a free agent. So he joins. He's just a youngster. So I put him in the lower division. He's just playing. He's just doing his own thing, and hopefully he can develop. He's a winger, so someone who could potentially be there for the next end of the season. 16 aggression, technique of 12, acceleration and pace, all very good. So really good to see. And yeah, I'm just going to leave him. Hopefully he can develop. We've got a good youth setup at the moment, and hopefully he has that potential. Also fairly professional as well, so he knows what's going on and he's already starting to develop already. So our first major transfer as a loan comes from Jahia Podomo. So Jahia Podomo, he comes in from junior in the Colombian division, and I think that's definitely Colombia, isn't it? Yeah, he comes from the Colombian division, and I'm paying him quite a lot for a fee. I'm paying him about, I think it's about 12 grand. I think I'm paying him £1,000 a month for this player, but my word, he plays on either wing. He plays as a winger on attack, on regardless of the wings. So he plays predominantly more the sort of right side as a winger on attack. He's very, very good. So acceleration of 14, pace of 14, very quick, crossing of 12, dribbling of 12, first touch of 13, finishing of 8. So it's not great, but hopefully he can sort of whip in balls towards our target men in Burakov, and also hopefully as a poacher role, Papazov can sort of come in. But we've got a sort of a newer front line, so hopefully the new players can come. So we'll discuss them a bit. We'll discuss them sooner into the video. So he comes in with a passing of 13, technique of 15, and aggression of 8, but work rate of 12. So he is sort of a team orientate, although I've just seen his teamwork, it's of 6, and positioning of 2, and leadership of 1. So he literally just sits there in the dressing room, not even talking. So that's a bit of a shame, but he's on loan, and hopefully someone who can fit sort of more and be more of a, straight in team, first team role, and hopefully he can do well for us. So his XG is 1. He hasn't even hit that, which is great, but he's had 1 assist in 3 appearances on a non-competitive, so not bad as a 7.17 in our sort of pre-season. So he's done all right. So he's coming in on loan, so he won't be here for the whole season. He won't be here permanently. He's just coming on loan. And the next player, which, because obviously there's a year change, so with our players that we have Latchier Jordanov, he comes in as a 22-year-old on loan from Chernomore, just someone who can fit a if required. He's agreed regular starting time, which probably is not going to happen. He just comes in as just sort of someone to help out with what's going on. In case some of our main strikers get injured. He's just a good poacher, finishing of 13, first touch of 8, heading of 13, technique 13, acceleration of 12, natural fitness of 15, and pace of 12 as well. So he's quite quick, and he can do it for long periods of time, which is good to see. Off the ball of 13, so he's very good at sort of bringing in other players and also knowing what is going on around in the game. In the Chernomore 1919, when he was on loan, he had 30 appearances and 12 goals to score from that. So he's not bad. Hopefully he comes in at 22 just to sort of fit the role. And yeah, so there we are. He hasn't played any matches during pre-season, so because he came in loan a bit later on. And so these were the loans. These were the 2 loans, and this is our. If Ilev can play on the right side, this is our brand new left back, or someone who can sort of fit that bill on the left. So this is Hristo Hristov. He comes in from, I believe it was Lokomotiv Sofia. So they're obviously in the lower division, but he comes in as a regular starter. He can improve, so that's good to see. He dives into tackles, which isn't great. I didn't realise that was what his sort of player trait was. But crossing of 12, dribbling of 10, first touch of 9. Marking and passing are fantastic. Tackling and technique are great. Good work rate and good aggression, which is good to see from a player of his age. And he's not even in his prime yet, so hopefully he can start to develop. He's also played at the higher level as well, but I think he's leading. Oh, he's a decent player for first division side, so perfect. That's great for us, and he can fit that role. So these were the first sort of four players that I brought in to start this sort of once the season ended. But we go on to the more recent transfers, which is obviously the first one being Ilev. He comes in on a free transfer. He's been on us for loan. He now comes in on a permanent contract, £400 a week. He was quite expensive, but he can play that left side, which is good to see. And I think that's what I'm sort of more going to have, because Burukov is good. No, it's not Burukov, is it? It's Barukov, something daft. Bastonov, sorry. Bastonov is playing that wing back role, but if one of those players gets injured, he can come in and fit the bill, as he has a decent crossing, and I think Ilev's got a very good cross on him. Yeah, 10 and 10, so not bad for a player of that quality. And the next player to come in is Tesoslav Petrov. He comes in on a free. He's just sort of someone who can just. I literally got him on a free contract and a free transfer. He's just someone who's just going to fit the bill if required. And fringe player who can develop, who can still improve. He's a good player for second side. So if he if we ever need someone who to just come in and just fit, just as sort of a player who it just gives us a bit more depth in midfield. He's going to be that player, so that's brilliant to see. He comes in, and I think his stats aren't actually that bad. So first touch of 13, work rate of 12, aggression of 6 isn't great, but he's more of a sort of advanced playmaker. He just sort of looks to bring other players in the role. Spent a heck of a lot of time in the second team for Ludogorets, and hopefully he can just he's got a balanced personality, so I hope he just sort of produces. And just when he comes on and when he needs to turn up, he does turn up. So there we are. And now the most recent one of Yanakai Smirnov. He comes in from Barui, and he is pretty much our more sort of first team striker. He is. I put him down as an impact sub. I don't know why he's wanted to do that, but he comes in decent player for first league sides. And he's going to be our more sort of poacher this season. He's got acceleration of 11 and pace of 12. So he's fairly decent. He's quite quick. Anticipation of 10, composure of 11. So he's fairly composed on the ball. Penalties, he's 12. So we've got someone who's good at composure and penalties, which is good to see. Heading of 12, finishing and first touch of 11, which is all round sort of physicals are brilliant. Mentals are okay. He's got it in the places where it needs to be, and technicals as well. So he just comes in as our first team striker to sort of help out Papazov, because Papazov isn't really hitting his potential as needed. But he comes in and hopefully welcome Yanakai to the Lokomotiv Sofia team, and hopefully you can sort of make a name for yourself. As I really want to sort of do this year, try and defend the Bulgarian Cup from others. So he comes in, and finally, but certainly not least, is Ivan. Let's get his name right. Ilev. He comes in from Montana. He comes in as a 21-year-old. He can play anywhere. Honestly, he can play midfielder on the right, centre midfield. He can play attacking midfield, and he can even play up front. So he's all round just a utility player. He comes in on a free transfer, and he's decent player for first league teams, which is great to see. And hopefully he can sort of push us out if need be, and if we need someone to play that winger role and sort of midfield who can just all round technically is not great, but in the positions where he needs to play, he's not bad. So that's our transfers this season. So we're still obviously going to be lining up as a 4-4-2, but obviously changing Papazov to Smirnov. As we have obviously Jordanov, he's here. He comes in good for most second teams, and Papazov is also good for. He's operating at first team level, so he is decent. All right, as a striker, he's pretty good as a poacher, and will still be pretty much our first team sort of striker. But he's only here till next season. And then he'll be going back to CSK Sofia unless I can get a more sort of permanent deal for him. But he's going to cost this team so much, and we don't have a lot, as we sort of have relied on sort of free transfers this season, as there's not really much else out there in a way. So this is our time. This is our team. Sorry, we have Vasil, Bastonov, Kirchev, Stoev, and Ilev in the back sort of centre back, and on the on the wing back roles, and Vassal obviously in goal. Midfield, we've got Todor, Vlad, and Steph, and the brand new signing to our team on loan, unfortunately, is Podomo and Smirnov and Burakov up front. So just to go through as sort of, we have now, I think, a real solid base to potentially go on and sort of try for those championship places, or also go into sort of Europe again this season. And you're not going to like it, but our European places team that we've drawn is Wilhelm 2 from Eredivisie. These are a big team, and one that I think is going to be a real struggle to get through, as some of their players are valued as treble the amount of what Burakov, sorry, 5 times the amount of what Burakov is at the moment. Yeah, it's going to be a real sort of tough one. But if we get a little away goal potentially, I don't know if that's going to sort of impact our sort of finances. But obviously with this Champions League path, it's going to be a very tough game. But I'd also like to draw your attention. We've been drawn against CSKA Sofia in the Super Cup. I did put this up on Twitter, which is good to see. We have another chance of winning silverware and getting another game over CSKA Sofia, because we've never actually won it, and neither has CSKA Sofia. So it is a first time for both clubs, I believe. And hopefully we can get through that. But also remembering that transfer for what was his name, the chap? His name was Perdomo. It was obviously £1,000 a week. No, sorry, £1,000 a month to pay back for his loan. But I have gone and got an amazing affiliate club. I have managed to secure Olympique Marseille as our affiliate club here. And we can sort of loan out any of their players, but there's not really any players that really want to play for us. But basically, they're paying us 50 grand a year, which is brilliant, as that plays for the player that I've transferred in, and it plays for a lot of these players' contracts. Believe it or not, as we're paying, I think we're paying 6 grand a month. So obviously it's more about, we're looking about 72,000 a year, and this pretty much pays for a lot of that. So it's brilliant to see, and I'm really happy as that this amount of money could really sort of make the club improve and keep us on that sort of self-reliant and self-sustaining club that I want to be going into this first game. Now, going into this first game, it is going to be a huge task, as we are playing against brand new up-and-coming team of Minyor Pernik, who are really sort of going to be fighting to stay up this division. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer over to my other computer, as we then have 3D highlights. So I'll see you all in that game against Minyor Pernik. Welcome back here. We are going to be playing some 4-4-2 football here. We have Burakov in the front line on target man in support. We then have Smirnov, as a poacher role. We then have Perdomo on the left-hand wing, with then Steph and Vlad in the midfield, dictating that midfield hopefully as a ball-winning midfielder and a box-to-box. Hopefully they can just sort of, constantly up and down the midfield. Then we have Todor on the right. He's playing on a winger on attack. Ilev comes in as a fullback. I think he's on attack in... let's have a look. I think he is definitely on attack. Yes, he is. So he's on attack on the left, and Stoev, Kirchev in the centre-back positions, and Busanov is on the right-hand side, playing the same. He's playing as an attack-if fullback, and Vassal is in goal. So hopefully this is a big start here to the season. Hopefully Smirnov can get his goal on his debut potentially, and hopefully Lokomotiv Sofia can go to get 3 points here. The Railwaymen, we're back in Season 3, Episode 1, and let's get started for the first game of this season. And hopefully some of these first starters here can go on and give us a bit of a win here. I'm going to point my fingers and say, if we play our game, we will win, hopefully. And point fingers, I have faith in you in midfield. Midfielders, I'm going to point my fingers, say I've got faith in them. Attackers, got my hands together and say I have faith in you all. Moving forward into the tunnel here, what can we say? So I don't care about you, hopefully just press all of those ones. And here we start. Goodness me, it's going to be a tough game here with Lokomotiv Sofia, hopefully, and Minyor Pernik. Here we are, first highlight. Kiki's there. And oh, goodness me, what a save from Vassal. That's a huge save. And 8 minutes in, Lokomotiv Sofia are very lucky here to only be to still have it as 0-0 here. And they fire in a possession. And who was that? Was that Kirchev? And Burakov now, he can move forward. But that's the end of the highlight here. And Lokomotiv Sofia get very lucky. And here we go, Ahmed is there, and Steph has just absolutely destroyed his legs. and that's a red card. There's no way that he's getting out of that. That is a horrendous challenge from Steph. And great, in our first game here, we are pretty much... Oh, Jesus. I'm going to have to... Oh, no. I'm going to have to take off Smirnoff. Sorry for chat. That was a pretty... Oh, there we are. That was a pretty quick... that was a pretty quick first game of the season for him and a first debut. But he's coming off. And I've got to put on... who do I put on here? This is ridiculous. I'm going to put on Lagoa. He's coming on. And he's going to be playing a deep line playmaker on support. And hopefully, somehow, we can go on to win this game. But I really don't see it, as I've got a target man in Burakov up front. And, yeah, that's what we're going to be playing here. And here we go. Hopefully, something can come from this. But it's going to be a very, very tough game. I'm going to change our mindset from positive. We have to go more defensive here, if it lets me choose this. Yeah, I'm going to have to pause it. And I'm going to have to go defensive. And hopefully 23 minutes in here, we've got to somehow survive. And hopefully we can, but it's going to be a very, very tough game here. We're going to have to probably get ourselves a highlight here. But here we go. Oh, goodness me, it's Minyor Pernik to deliver a ball in. And Mitrovic is there, and he fires a ball in, and it's in. And it's Alexander Asparuhov who gets the first goal of the season here, but it's not ours. It's Minyor Pernik's, who are 1-0 up against Lokomotiv Sofia. We have had one player down, unfortunately, and this is a pretty grim position to be in, I have to admit. And 2D Classic, no, we're not playing that. We want ourselves to be a director on the highlights here. And we've had no chances, which is pretty fair. I think, it's going to be a tough game. Going to encourage the boys, hopefully they can somehow change the ways. But half-time we go in 1-0 down here with Minyor Pernik, and we've had no shots, absolutely nothing. We're a man down, we can still get a result. Defenders, I'm disappointed. Midfielders, there's a lot for you to come in up front. I'm going to point my fingers and say, I appreciate your efforts, you've just been unlucky today. If I go start the second half, I'm going to change our tactics here. And, what do I say? I'm going to push our tempo to in possession, counter, out of possession, much lower, and get stuck in, I think. But it's going to be very tough for us to come back here with being obviously 1-0 down. We're going to have to somehow get ourselves a lucky highlight. But something tells me I don't think we're going to be potentially doing this, as this is just going to be absolutely ridiculous. And he's taken an injury, but I'm going to have to ignore it because he needs to stay on. I'm going to, if I shout here, I'm going to give the boys a bit of encouragement going into this game. Hopefully 66 minutes in, we can start to sort of change this game around, but something tells me it's just not going to happen. And Minyor Pernik are now just holding on. They are really trying to hold on here. We've gone from, I'm going to change our mindset to positive because we need to start pressing them, as I do believe that they might start to sort of counter-attack us. But it's just a shame that we've gone down to 10 men, as, God, it could have been very different, this scoreline, but it's been a very sort of barely any highlights in this game here. And hopefully I'm going to demand more from this team. 86 minutes in, can we get a highlight? 89, it's now plus 5 minutes. I'm going to go very attackive here. Oh my goodness me, and here we go, 93 minutes in, we've got a highlight. Can we somehow get a counter-attackive chance as Minyor Pernik come forward and Vlad's there? Oh goodness me, I thought Vlad was going to attack that. And Razibi is coming through with Georgiev, and now here they come with Bozinov, and Ahmed is coming through. Ahmed delivers a ball in, and Jordanev's there, but it's been cleared, and they come again, but that's the highlight here. But unless there's another one, as Metodiev comes and fires one in 94th minute, and Milen Stoev is injured, but I've got to ignore that for the moment. They're taking their time on this corner. Ball gets whipped in, and it's gone all the way back to Middleev, and as he comes forward, oh goodness me, it's sort of really sort of far. But Ilev's there, Ilev challenges, come on, let's go. And he's booted off the pitch, and that is probably the end of the game. So we lose our first game here, I'm definitely guessing, to Minyor Pernik, unless Lokomotiv Sofia in the next 5 seconds can somehow go on a counter-attack. But he is taking his time with that throw-in, and oh goodness me, it's a corner. And there we are, full time, 1-0, we've lost it here. and that's a pretty shit start to the season and to the save, isn't it? To this season 3, it's a bit of a grim start. Oh, for fuck's sake, that's pissed me off a little bit. I'm far from pleased with that result. That was absolutely diabolical. Showing off the new 3D highlights, and we go and absolutely lose it, and we have barely any highlights at all. So I'm going to continue this one, and yeah, that was pretty grim. But for next episode, I think we will definitely come back. We'll be back for the Euro Cup 2 League Path second qualifying first leg here against Wilhelm 2. Hopefully, if we can, nick a late winner, potentially, this means we could go on and secure ourselves, who knows, the second qualifying round. And then you're looking more into that, but this is going to be a very, very tough game. They completely outclass us with their players. Well, there we are. Thank you ever so much to everyone tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed the first episode here of Season 3. And unfortunately, the first game wasn't the most exciting, and I do apologise for that, but I can't do anything about Steph getting himself sent off with a red card from that god-awful challenge. And hopefully I'll see you all in the Wilhelm game too, in the Euro Cup, where we start our European journey here with Lokomotiv Sofia. And hopefully afterwards, can we go on and secure ourselves into Europe here? It's going to be a nice little payout if we do go on to lose it, but something tells me the Lokomotiv Sofia's men and the Railway men will be cheering us all the way through to potentially, cause an upset here on the European nights at the Lokomotiv Stadium. So thank you ever so much again to everyone. Please hit that. Please hit the subscribe button. Notify yourself for any future videos that come on. Give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye bye.